that's literally never happened. So I don't know what the hell happened, but we're good now. So we're gonna run it back from the top again.
Okay.
So outside of your financial commitments, can you share what are the biggest challenges of making an independent film?
Having a team who sees the vision and helps you make it, because without people who support you or believe in you, it's gonna be hard. Because if you're with somebody who doesn't see the vision, you're gonna clash. Um, I feel like you need to have people who you can support and they can support you. It's mutual, because I believe if I scratch your back and you scratch my back, you do right by me, I'm gonna do right by you, and I think it's a collective. We're in the mud together, we're at the lows together, and eventually we're all gonna go through the tunnel together. And I feel like as a whole we're a team. I don't think it's about me. I think as a director, I've been able to learn the duties of each person on set and be in their shoes, and I feel like okay, that person's gonna do that, and that person, the simple things of hi, how you doing, good afternoon, hey, what's up, do you want to get this, do you need anything, hey, how you doing, treating people like a regular human being more than just that person on set. I think that's I hope I answered your question,
No, no, absolutely.
Okay.
No, you did a good job. Now, can you go from the top in terms of the financial breakdown, of making an independent film? Because I know a lot of people don't consider those costs when they're making something like that.
There's a lot in the sense of budget. How much is this film gonna cost, and where are you shooting it, and also there's two ways. Are you gonna follow the rules, and are you gonna, if you're gonna get permits? Permits cost a lot. I've shot a film called Petrified. If you want to check that out on my YouTube, you can. I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna drop the link. Okay, yes. So yeah, you guys could get the YouTube name later. But I shot a film called Petrified here in Sacramento. And I had to pay the city. I had to pay for parking spots. I had to pay here's this and that. And then once we shot it, I was like, damn, I could have did this all for free or nothing. You know what I mean? Because there was a scene where, we didn't write it on the permit, but the car was chasing me, an SUV, and I'm running, and there was a bike cop on a motor, not a motorcycle, on a bicycle,
yeah,
in Old Town Sag. And he just looked, oh, what are y'all doing? I said, oh, I have my permit. Oh, okay, cool, you're good to go. And it was like, oh. I thought there was a level of urgency to shoot a permit. So I think, moving forward, I shoot films without permits. I'm a guerrilla filmmaker at heart. I shot a film in Santa Cruz, and the city of Santa Cruz wanted to charge me, I think $280 to shoot at the beach. And it was like, but you got people who go on Instagram, who vlog and do this and that on Snapchat, and you want to charge me. So we had a small, intimate crew on sound, camera, and I was one of the actors and my counterpart actress. And I said, if anyone comes to us, I just got married and we're vlogging our honeymoon. Who's going to challenge that? And that's how you do it. But I think you also have to put in travel expenses. You also have to put money for food, hotel if you got people coming in. It's a whole lot of factors for food, and also gear, camera, equipment for sound, costume, props, all that. It's a whole lot of stuff that goes into it.
Are you renting gear?
I own a camera, so
okay,
I think
there you
go. That eliminates that. But in the sense
what
of
about
lighting,
like stabilizers and lighting and all that stuff?
Lighting, I have people that I feel like in the film community, when people that take care of you, take care of them. There's like, hey, can I use your sound gear? Or hey, can I use your lighting gear?
Nice.
That's how I've gotten by. But if I have to go to a rental house or go to Amazon or something, I will. So that's how I get by with that kind of stuff.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Now, when you're writing your scripts, what would you say impacts your thoughts on putting those thoughts to paper, or do you have a specific criteria of what notes you want to hit when you're writing your scripts?
That's a great question, because when I'm writing, I try to pull stuff from my life, personal stuff that I feel like can convey emotional stuff that can be like, oh, this could probably make somebody cry. Like I would like to make someone get teary-eyed or something, and I'll write it. And if I'm missing the beats or if I'm not getting it right, that's when I send my script out to people that I trust. Like, hey, what do you think? Hey, can I get your input? Like my last film, Bliss, a good friend of mine named Troy Thompson, she was a co-writer or script consultant, and she helped me formulate a lot of the dialogue, not to sound robotic, because I had this, and this and that, and then so I think just to make it sound real and authentic, that's great. And I feel like sometimes as filmmakers, we tend to think, oh, we can do it all. Like I can write, I can direct, but it's okay. And I feel like to get input and help. And I feel like to answer your question, hopefully, is to get those beats, is just to think and make sure the story works. Because I feel like if I'm gonna write this story or this film, why am I doing it? Why is this character going through the struggle? So I try to put my shoes of that character and in that mindset and try to take myself away from it and try to give that character its own life.
Absolutely. Now, if you had advice to give to someone who wanted to start making their own movies today, what are 5 things you would suggest to have them either start doing or like set themselves up just to be able to do that?
I would say start doing your research. Look at what films you like, what directors, what genre you like. Is this really something you want to do? Because it's a commitment. It's not something you start and then a year or two later, oh, I don't want to do that, because you're wasting your time at that point. Find people who are like you, who want it, that are starting up, and then you could have a team, and that's how you do it. I'm trying to think. You have to understand, do you want to go the film route, the film school route, or do you want to just do this independently? And both, I'm not against either or. You could both make them happy. It's just what kind of patience do you have? And I think, just know that it is a journey. It's not easy. It's hard because support comes and go. One day somebody may, I want to support your film, or hey, and the next day they completely go silent, and you might, I was depending on that funding, or I thought that person would help me in my film. So it's a lot of factors to. I hope the upcoming filmmaker can take heed.
How does another thing I want to ask you is, as far as advice wise with that, when you're talking to someone, how do you go about those conversations when, I mean, obviously if you're reaching out to people, they know that you're going to be the one directing. I guess essentially you would put yourself at like that top dog, like on set day, you know what I mean? Like you're in that title already because you came with the idea, you're funding most of the time. But how does that conversation go with the next person when they think they're just as good as you? Like, is it competitive in the director community? You know what I'm saying? Like,
so you're asking me like,
I mean, obviously you'd be open up to suggestions if someone says, "Hey, I think this would be a great shot." But are there going to be uncomfortable conversations with other people when they're trying to overstep their boundaries while you're filming?
Oh, most definitely. I feel like I've been in several situations where, okay, I'm the director, but just because I'm the director, and I'm not trying to be a dictator. I'm not trying to, hey, I know it all. I feel like as a director, you have to give respect to get respect back. You have to take care of the people. And I feel like if I come in, oh, you're going to do that, you're going to do this, people are going to not like you. And I feel like in this industry, people talk. And the sad nature of that is that you may have walked past somebody, and because of you doing that and not acknowledging that person, good luck on the next set. You might not even get called. So I think as far as clashing egos, I go to USC right now, and there's this trio system thing where we all come from different backgrounds. You might not even have film background. You might have studied molecular biology at your undergrad, and you woke up one day and did your essay to try to apply for grad school at USC. You got in, no knowledge, and so now they put us in groups of 3, and now we all have to alternate hats: directing, cinematography, producing, editing. And it comes a clash of like, oh, well, I'm at USC. I'm the hot stuff. I can do this and that. And I'm like, well, I've done this for a minute. How about you hear me out? And then you can either take my advice or not. And, the snow will just, ripple.
Yeah.
And,
so you're not going to be able to avoid those uncomfortable conversations, basically.
I try my best to who's on my set. I feel like with school, we're forced to work with people who I may not want to be around with. On my own, I know who I want to work with, So I try to be like, all right, do I want to have cocky people around me, or do I want to have people who not that really cocky? So I try to just, okay, this is my idea of what I want to work on a set with certain kind of people.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah.
So when it comes to the films that you've done or worked on, whether it's your own film or somebody else's film that you helped worked on set or whatever, can you share, can you share which film has had the biggest impact on you that you've worked on, whether it's your own film or someone else's film that you helped out? Can you share which one really like expanded your mind, basically?
The biggest impact? That's a great question. I need to think. I need a second or two for that.
No, it's all good. Take your time.
Whether if it was my impact in the sense of emotional wise, or
well, impact in terms of like wow, this film has like really expanded my mind in terms of things I want to try, or maybe things that I've learned. You know what I mean? Just like a learning curve. You know what I mean? Like the biggest learning curve.
If it altered your life in any way, as far as like for the better or for the worse.
Yeah.
I would say my film I did last year, Bliss. It was an emotional roller coaster, and it took a lot to make that film. It was from the heart. And I would say I learned a lot, and I think bringing in the skeletons that I had inside that I was holding for a long time, and finally put it out on the floor and made the film. And I think the emotional essence of what I was trying to capture, I think it came out really well. And I think having a team that supported me, and shout out Jonathan Lopez and shout out Lily Nguyen, Troy Thompson, who help me make that film. I think without that, I don't think I'd have had that essence. And I think moving forward, that film taught me that essentially anything's possible if you put your mind to it. I know that sounds cliche, but I had a vision, I wrote it, stuck to it, and I made the film happen. I think that altered my sense. Well, if I become open to the fact of doing this, and I can, be open to, all right, I don't have to do it all. I think I for the longest, I've thought that I can do it all. I can do right, direct. It's a lot of wear and tear. It's a lot of exhaustion. So I think, knowing that, everything will align in when it happens, and it's okay to take a seat in the back seat sometimes. That's what I've learned. I think Bliss taught me to just calm down, mellow down, and take a step back. And since then, I've been itching to direct. So I think Bliss has really, and I shot Bliss about a year and a half ago. So. Bliss.
Oh, Bliss. Okay, I was gonna say. Oh, yeah,
that was the one movie that wasn't on your YouTube page, brother. So where do you find that movie at?
So you could just reach out to me, DM me, text me, email me if you have any of those from me. It's because I'm currently submitting this film in the film festival run.
Okay.
And they disqualify films if they know that it's to the public.
So it's in the public.
So I'm not trying. So I have a private link. So if anyone wants to watch it, just tell them to hit me up.
Yeah, hell yeah,
absolutely. So. Okay, speaking about the people that you have frequent collaborators with, like Orlando and Lily, can you describe your relationship with those individuals, or even if there's other people that I haven't mentioned, like just people, because I've noticed that in all four of your films that are on your YouTube, I've seen that there's tend to be like 3 or 4 of the same people, whether working behind the camera or in front of the camera. So can you describe your relationships with those people?
Lily, that's my sister. I met her at Cosumnes River College, CRC, for those that know or don't know. And I graduated from Sac State in 2020, and there's this period in my life where it was a gap year, where it was 3 years in the making of me trying to apply to grad school. So I felt like if I'm not doing nothing film-wise, I'm going to get cold, and I need to sharpen my craft and just get better with my skills. So I enrolled in the community college, and I met Lily in some of the classes I took, and I thought she was cool. She was kind of shy. We worked on a project. We did Dove It together with Orlando.
Okay.
And on that project, I was brought on to be the co-writer, co-director, but mainly the cinematographer. And Lily edited that film. And I was really, taken aback, oh, she did a great job. I had 2 films at that time. I had this film called Petrified and a film called Scorpio, and I was looking for an editor. And I told Lily, I said, look, I got this film. It's all shot. I just need to edit. She was kind of hesitant. I kind of had to push her. If she was here, she'll say that I begged her. I disagree with that. But, I did my best to, let's make it happen. And ever since then, we've been locked in, and she's helped me on, we did Dovik, we did Bliss, we did Petrified.
She's been your editor on all your films, right?
Nah, there's a sci-fi one on my film.
Yeah, that was the most recent one. Yeah,
right? I haven't announced it yet to Instagram. I'm waiting on Lily to make a trailer. So if Lily's watching this, I hope we make that trailer. So I know you've been waiting on me to make it happen. But Lily's just that's somebody who, when I make it, I want to bring with me. Orlando, we used to run track together with Sheldon in Pleasant Grove High School, and I've known him since high school. We retouched in college. And he was taking an acting class, and I was in it for a bit before I dropped it because it just didn't work out scheduling wise. And then when Dovik happened, I said, Orlando, I need somebody to be in this film. Oh, let's do it. And since then, I try to, hey, Orlando, I had this role and this and that. I always, when I write a script, can Orlando be this character? Can he be the main? Jonathan Lopez, who's been my cinematographer as well, I met him at LA City College, and he helped me shoot Bliss. And we shot that thing together, and he's somebody who knows his framing and composition. That's someone that I feel like we speak the same language, and we have the same fundamentals that Professor Rossiter from LA City College gave us. So I feel like we speak the same language, and he knows it. And I would rather have someone like Jonathan Lopez on my set than someone who doesn't know how to set up light or doesn't know how about framing and composition. So every film I aim to make, I try to have Lily and Johnny on my set. Troy Thompson, she's not really in the film world like that, but she's great at writing. She helped me with the script of Bliss, and because it was very robotic and we wanted to sound really real. And once we finished the script, it sounded way better than when I had it. I'm trying to think, is anyone else? Sound wise, Lily's helped out with that. Maverick and Jackson have helped out. I've been trying to get them on the project, but it hasn't worked scheduling wise. But I'm trying to think, anyone else that I give a shout out to film wise? I think that's it right now.
Okay.
So it's a long list of people.
No, but that just shows that you got a group of people that fuck with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially
on a consistent basis.
100%.
Excuse me. So, for the 4 films you do have on your YouTube channel, which is Scorpio, Dovik, Petrified, and Nah, can you, if someone who hasn't seen them yet, who's watching this right now, can you share or in a small way describe the differences between those 4 films?
Yeah, Dovik is about a college professor who's supposed to be studying. A college professor who's grading papers on campus at their office, and weird things start happening at night. Na is about people are disappearing in the suburbs, and some people think it's aliens, so some friends try to investigate what's gonna happen or not. With that, Petrified is actually based on a true story of mine, 5% or 10%, and then I milked the rest and made it what it was. But it's about this Latino from the Bay Area. He's staying in L.A. trying to visit his friend, and then he gets followed and harassed by a security guard, and that whole night he's trying to escape. Scorpio is about a Latino college student going through the motion. He got kicked out from his mom's house, struggling to pay for college. He encounters fake friends, and he's just navigating life, and he's just trying to get on track with everything. So that one's what's it called? What do they call it? Coming of age film.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, I'm a Scorpio myself. Are you a Scorpio?
Yeah, I am a Scorpio.
When's your birthday?
October 29th.
Oh, it's October 28th, baby.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah,
Man.
fuck November Scorpios.
Fuck you.
They own
November
that Diddy
Scorpios.
stuff.
Huh?
Oh, you a Diddy Scorpio.
Oh, you're a Diddy Scorpio.
First of all,
You're a
y'all
Diddy
disgusting.
Scorpio.
First of all, y'all disgusting.
Crazy word.
Of course, people.
I never knew that's what they called them.
That's what they are.
Oh,
That's what
really?
they called
Oh,
them.
really?
Okay, well, that's good to know now.
Coming from the gentlemen of the same height, fuck both of you. Okay, so anyway,
I'm pretty sure you got some baby oil there somewhere.
Yeah.
you're
Or you
Fuck
need
you,
some.
Josh.
You need some.
you're hella disgusting. Okay, so
Your
as
lips
I was,
are ashy.
bitch.
I'm sorry.
Okay, no.
My bad. I didn't mean to get
You're
this
going
off
off the. You're going off the rails.
That's me. That's me.
So okay, so as I went through those 4 films, because I didn't know you had a separate link for Bliss, I gotta watch that after this. The genre I personally felt going through all your films kind of gave that like suspense thriller vibe, for sure.
Yeah.
When I was watching those films, so is there a specific reason why you kind of lean towards those type of genres when making your films?
I think I gotta give a shout out to Jordan Peele because
I knew it. I fucking knew it. I was like, bro, I'm especially the one with the professor that fell asleep. That
Dovey.
one and fucking that one and the people that were missing in the suburbs.
Yeah, nah.
Like those 2 films. I'm like, bro, these are literally Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
like you know what I mean, like movies that are inspired by Jordan Peele.
You see, I'm glad someone picked it up. Nah, I seen Us, and Us for me, seeing a doppelganger and hearing that dun dun, and that I got 5 on it, and Santa Cruz. You can see there's so many parallels with my filmmaking that I dropped these gems. Like I shot Bliss in Santa Cruz on the boardwalk, kind of homage to Us.
Yeah, it's how Us was.
Dovik had a doppelganger.
Yeah,
Us.
absolutely.
I'm trying to think of Petrified. I got 5 on it, so it's a lot of similarities within. I just like something about psychological thrillers about the struggle and just. Oh damn! Did that just happen? And the twists and the turns, and do you think it's really real or not? Something about like Nope, inspired.
I literally, when I was watching I said that's Nope.
That literally was.
That's literally Nope right there.
This is what happened with Literally, I was about to start USC in August last year, and 2 weeks before that, I saw Nope probably like twice back to back, and I said, I want to make my own version, and I hit up Lily and Orlando, saying, y'all want to do this? And I wrote a little script, revised it, 2 little drafts, and we shot
I literally was watching that thinking Nope the whole time. I was like, bro, I literally, because like you literally gave yourself that like eerie.
It's in the same universe too.
Yeah.
If Jordan
Like
was watching, it's in the same world. I tried my best to tap into that,
Especially like and then the professor one. Like watching those 2, I was like, these for surely would be in their own cinematic universe because it's like that same eerie, like you kind of had that like that like you know what I mean, background noise to like make it unsettled type shit. So that's kind of why I was like, yeah, I know where Josh is coming from type shit. So basically Jordan Peele, you would say, is like your main influence when you're at least to this point.
I would say right now he's someone that I'm like, damn, I would love to work. I would love to be in a movie with act on his film, or so just a shadow learn from him and just be like, okay, that's how you do it. But I feel like Ryan Coogler, I got to give a shout out to Coogler because
absolutely
he just changed it. Actually, if I can real quick, spongy on Coogler. I went to Sac State. I was a political science major, and I saw Black Panther in 2018, and I was like, damn, I want to make a movie like this one day because that movie was packed 3 months. I tried going to
Black Panther was a movement.
It was hard to get a good seat, so we waited 3 months to watch it. And when I saw, like, damn, this guy, he's killing it. Because I had seen Fruitvale, I had seen Creed, and then Black Panther came like this stuff, okay. And then a week later, my mom was watching the news, and she's like, "Oh, Josh, they're talking about the director of Black Panther. He went to Sac State." And I'm like, "Huh? I didn't know that." Went to go rewind it because I had Comcast at the time. Found out he went to Sac State. found out his mentors were still at Sac State. Did my research, went to the office hours. I said, hey, I'm interested in directing, and I would like to do this. And they gave me, hey, take these 5 classes, because what I wanted, the minor didn't emphasize on that. Took the 5 classes, and then I've been doing film ever since. So I got to give a shout out to Cooler, because his trajectory of films and career, academic career, what he done is we kind of like have mimicked each other. Like I went to Sac State, he went to Sac State, he went to USC. Now I'm at USC, so it's been kind of dope to. Okay, I admire Coogler, and I hope to work with him one day. Who else? Christopher Nolan.
That dude's on his own level.
Yeah, he's on his. That man is Interstellar, The Dark Knight. I'm trying to think. Inception. I would think a film that I really like. Tenet. Tenet. I feel like Tenet didn't get the love it should.
It surely didn't. I love that movie. I gotta watch it a second time, but I love that.
John
movie.
David Washington. And I'm trying to think. Spike Lee. I love Do the Right Thing. John Singleton, Boys in the Hood, and
Four Brothers.
Yeah.
Four Brothers.
Baby Boy.
Jody. Martin Scorsese. Goodfellas. I love Italian mafia movies.
That's my goat.
100%. I think that's my what's inspired me, to be honest.
Say less. So, can you kind of give us a quick breakdown on like your timeline? So, from the say today you want to write something, right? A new movie. Can you give us the timeline from the day you start writing something to the day you finish shooting it?
It depends. Like, if you're going through like a professional route, you gotta get greenlit. You gotta pitch. There's so many obstacles and whatnot. But if you're doing it like like a guerrilla filmmaker, you write the script. Maybe it's a month or 2 or faster or less. You send it to people, you get feedback, revise it. Then once you have this clear script, I would say like a month after, you start scout locating, depending if that takes a week or 2 or fast. If you're fast in a week or so, or on a weekend or not, you just go, oh, this is where I want to shoot this, and that. And then on top of that, you have to see who wants to be on board for acting. And if you have people, yeah, I'll do it, you got to make sure the schedule lined up. So once you have the actors in for each character, then you go like, all right, when we gonna shoot this? And then when it comes to availability, oh well, I gotta take my shift off on this day and this and that. And once we formulate that time, all right, this is a sacred time. We shooting on this day. Boom. Then we shoot the film. Depending on when the shooting, if it's a weekend or 2 weekends or however long the film is, you shoot that. Principal photography. Then it's editing. However long editing takes. I've been in the room with Lily. We did a thing where summer 2022, I was editing 2 films. My film Scorpio in the day with another editor, and then my film Petrified at night with Lily. And I think we edited Petrified. I think it took us 2 months. I don't know, 3 months or 2 months, because we had so much footage. Same with Scorpio, but it just depends. Now I'm at a point where I talk to Lily, I give her my notes, she puts something on time, I don't like that, or okay, I like that, or can you maybe fix that, or can we meet? And it's just, I think when you have someone who knows you and what you do and don't like, you go off of that language. But I hope I answered. I think for me, I can crank a film out in 3 months or less or more. I think give me 6 months, I could probably crank
6 months. Okay, so from the time of writing to the time you finish editing,
and that's with your strategy as guerrilla filming.
For me, because last year, that's what happened with Bliss. I wrote Bliss in December of 2023. No, I'm trying to think. Yeah, December 2022, and then January 2023 came out. I was already talking to my crew and team, already scout locating in Santa Cruz and all that. By May of 2023 last year, we shot Bliss. So that was like a 4-month process right there.
Absolutely.
You know what's crazy too is when you mentioned scheduling, bro. I didn't think about that too, because a lot of times when you get actors involved, I mean, these people live regular lives too. Yeah, so you have to line up those. And then the other thing is, let's say you have a setting where you're supposed to be shooting outside, and you've already dedicated it to be like at a certain time, like, oh, this has to be filmed at dusk, or this has to be filmed at dawn, or right at the middle of the day at like 12 p.m. Like, you got to have those lined up.
For sure.
So, like, yeah, I think for me not knowing anything about film, bro, that's definitely eye-opening to see that, like, how in tune with your team you have to be.
100%.
That's tight.
Because if you don't do it, who will? And also, it's like, that's the thing about being a director. Like, I feel like that's the most stressful thing for me, is like lining everything up. Once you pass that zone, everything else is fun. My favorite part is calling action. That is my favorite part. And we get to editing, that's cool. And then when we get to see see it on the big screen, that's my favorite part. But everything before that, the writing and the permits and the scout locating and the availability of actors and people on set, that's a whole fiasco. Like, you have to, it's really, you got to have patience, you know.
So I know you kind of touched on a little bit the fact that you do go to USC for film school.
Yeah.
Can you share the education? Do you feel like going there has enhanced you as a filmmaker, or do you feel like it's kind of like give or take?
That's a great question because, you know, I'm at USC, fight on and whatnot. And
Absolutely.
I appreciate the fact that I'm there. And I feel like I never thought I'd ever see myself at a USC, let alone, you know, be studying the film program. That's just, I thought I went to Sac State and I thought that was that, to be honest. And, you know, God is good. And, but that being said, before I got into USC, for some reason, in my head, the film classes was like what you see in the movies. You're like on set, you're taking all these great stuff, but once you're in the thick of it all, you're learning like, damn, like, do I need to be here? Like, damn, this is kind of repetitive. I've kind of already took this at Sac State. I already took this class at community college, so it's kind of like, yeah, I'm kind of finding myself in a situation where I'm finding myself being bored in some classes right now. Like right now, like last year, was the most stressful 2 semesters I've ever had in my life. From fall of last year and spring of this year, we were in a trio system. We were making films and cranking. We were all boom, boom, boom deadlines, and it was really stressful. You're working with people that you may or may not like, or you may not click or clash with. So it was really stressful. And we got a deadline, and then once we passed that phase, now I'm transitioning to like, okay, I'm a student. But it's like I've been a student all my life, you know, from pre-K to now. So it's like I'm 28 now, so I'm kind of exhausted. So I feel like, you know, as much as prestigious USC is, it's what you want and what you do, because it's your money. At the end of the day, I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't do, but I'm not going to knock. If you want to go to grad school, go ahead, but I feel like there's different avenues to achieve that dream, and if you're on set, and it's also networking, it's a game of networking. What I learned at USC is on my time outside of school, meeting people in the industry. Hey, would you like to get some coffee? Hey, can we meet? Hey, can I be on set? Me knowing that now, I was like, do I need to be at USC? But also, I've also learned that USC degree, I went to USC Film School, it's like currency. Once you graduate, oh, you went to USC? Oh, you're on. Oh, we don't need to check this or that. So that's another thing that I'm there for that as well, for the brand. That goes a long way. So there's a lot of that. So I don't know. I have mixed feelings about USC, but I hope, you know, I hope it's not a waste. I'm doing my best to learn from the game, and I'm doing my best to connect with a lot of great people in the industry. And I feel like in the classes that I'm taking, I'm learning a lot. So I'm not saying that I'm wasting my time. Just sometimes I just feel I'm unsatisfied, or sometimes I feel like I'm bored because I'm like, I've been here, done that, just not requirement stuff at this time.
So a lot of times, I mean, even in like the music industry, because I make music myself, bro, and so a lot of times they say it's about relationships more than anything. Do you feel like it's the same way over there? Like, obviously, you just said that having USC in your resume is like is like currency, right? But do you think that relationships play just as important of a role?
100%. I feel like, well, I'll say 50-50 because at USC, they try to scare you and be like, oh, you better be good with this person, because if you guys don't work well, they're going to talk bad about you, and it's going to ruin your image and your reputation. Or this person might be working at Disney or Universal one day, and they're going to be hiring you. You rubbed them the wrong way, they're not going to hire you. So I feel like yes and no, but if you know what you're there to do, like, I'm not there to make you feel happy. I'm not there to be your buddy and hold your hand. I'm there to learn, make films, get my degree, get in and get out, and get in the industry. But I feel like you're more than capable of, at the end of the day, knowing that USC is just a bubble. That's the school politics is the school politics. I refuse to believe that the school politics is going to follow you outside in the industry. And I've talked to other grads who have graduated from USC, from my program, and some are like, you know what? That's the one thing I hate, is that USC has scared us and made us think this and that. And now that I'm in the industry, no one cares about what happened at USC or what this and that. So it's to each his own type. I feel like you do what you do and do it at your best. And if someone doesn't like you, cool, that's their opinion. Keep it pushing.
Yeah. So, individually speaking, would you say is harder, bro? Would you say directing and writing is harder, or would you say acting is harder?
Directing and writing or acting? I said acting.
Acting? Can you kind of share with us?
Because, like, for instance, I'm an actor. Like, I'm a director writer in my mind, but at heart, I'm an actor. And I feel like it's easy for me to write a script. It's easy for me to call action. It's easy for me to direct and say, hey, are we rolling? Hey, cinematographer, can we frame that? Hey, sound, how we doing? Or actors, can y'all readjust or do this and that? It's easy for me to do that. But when you're an actor, you have to be in that mind of an actor. You have to be the character. I'm no longer Joshua. I'm now that character. And I have to make sure that I'm wowing you, or like, okay, I hope the audience likes it. Because we're on the big screen. Now you're watching the actor, what I tried to convey. So I think you have to tap into emotion. And I think as an actor, if you don't do that, you're gonna flop, or the movie's gonna suck, or your people not gonna like it, or like people not gonna want to work with you because you're not conveying what you're supposed to do as an actor. As an actor, you're supposed to know the art. Like for me, I love Denzel. Denzel Washington is my favorite actor. I love Robert De Niro. He's my favorite actor. And for my film Scorpio, I gave the character my name. I gave certain personal attributes of me, but it was not me. I gave it its own. How would I say? It took its own life. That character was me, but it wasn't me to some degree. And there's this dinner scene where there's these fake friends, and I had to tap into frustration. I had to call them out in that scene. And the scene is that people love that scene. To this day, it's one of my top 5 hands down favorite scene that I've done to date. Had so much fun doing that scene. But doing that scene, I knew that I can't just go in there on some, I think I'm an actor, or I'm gonna try to act. No. So what I did the day before was I watched a lot of Denzel and De Niro that day, like 3 hours worth. And I remember I kept watching that Training Day. You think you could do this to me?
Yeah.
You disloyal like that. That's one of my favorite scenes to this day. And just honing in on that and what Denzel did, I remember walking into that scene for the dinner scene, and each scene I just kept transcending, getting better and better. And I there's some things that I feel like acting just took over, because there's something that I did that because there was so much method acting and improvising that that's not in the script, and some stuff that I was just playing around. And to what you see in that scene was just me trying to be a good actor. And I feel like to this day that dinner scene represents my great acting.
That part of you.
That part of me.
Absolutely. As you as a scriptwriter, have you written scripts for other people's movies, or have you just kind of done it more for your own films?
Majority of the time my films, but for Dovik, I did co-write a script with someone for that film.
And who's the director and person for that movie?
Nia, her last name's French. I'm trying to pronounce it correctly. Perrault. I hope I'm mentioning it correct. Nia, forgive me if you're watching this. I tried, but I co-wrote the script with her for Dovik.
Awesome.
How does that work as far as when you co-write with someone, like how often are you going to clash creatively with that person?
I mean, like for instance,
can it be like as smooth as know what I mean, his elbows, or where
it could be smooth and clear as water. But if you're like, I think we should do this, or it just depends on how far you are in the process in the filmmaking world versus how far are they in. Like if they're just starting, you're gonna be there all day. Like, if you're like, I think we could do this. I don't know, we're da-da-da-da. And then we end up getting to where I thought a whole day later, and it was like, okay, this person just don't get it yet. But I feel like it's just a matter of clashing is inevitable. It's just there's a lot of people who are ahead in the game, a lot of people who are just starting, and so it's. But I think if you're in sync, I think we should write this and da-da-da, and go from there. It just depends on the person and the relationship you have with them.
What's more common, clashing or smoothness, or
for me?
Smooth? Yeah,
I'd say smoothly.
Okay.
With my people, it's like I think I've only had 2 or 3 instances where we're like weren't on the same page, but then we hashed it out. We talked and like, all right, moving forward, this is what we're gonna do. We're not gonna do. I think I'm able to understand my people and go from there.
Absolutely. So this part is kind of more transitioning towards your film festival conversation. So by the way, brother, I want to congratulate you. I think the fact that you've done it for now 3 years in a row is fucking awesome.
Thank you.
So shout out to you, bro.
Appreciate you, man.
And with this being for surely the most recent one being your biggest one, right?
Yeah.
In terms of the numbers, in terms of the volunteering you had,
100%.
in terms of you had loonies there.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like all that shit is like congratulatory to you, bro. Like people, like you're actually doing something that's not only like getting you out there and your name out there, but you're also getting other people's films and other people's art into the world as
100%.
well, which is. I just want to say that's awesome, bro.
Thank you, bro.
And I'm proud and I'm happy for you, brother.
I appreciate that, man.
Of course. So basically, what I'm gonna follow that up with is like these last 3 years doing that film festival. How would you say each year the experience has changed for you?
Oh. Every year it's a different kind of stress, different kind of frustration. The first year started because I had 3 films on my hands. I had Dovik, Scorpio, and Petrify, and I was like, I want the world to see this. How can I share my work? I was talking to my homie Jordan Neal, who's the assistant director of Petrify. And he was like, you should do your own festival. I'm like, you might have did this. And I said, what should I call it? And I was like, I don't know. Should it be the Joshua Flores Film Festival or should it the Joshua Film Festival? I don't know what to call it. He said, you should call it the Flores Film Festival. I'm like, you kind of, that was it, the FFF. I like that. And I had the 3 films, and that year was beautiful because it was special. It was out the blue, and my loved ones and friends came on. I think that year I had 75 to 80 people around that ballpark, and it was beautiful. We had a Q&A. Shout out to Dr. Dream who led it, and my team, Lily was there, Orlando was there. That year was really special, and it was great. We had 3 films, and I was all alone. And, besides Dovik, I love people seeing my work. So that see my family, see my work, and my friends, it's a beautiful feeling. Year 2, I had Bliss, and my friend Lily had this film called Follow Me. She was the opener, 5-minute film she did at Sex State. My frustration with year 2 is no matter how much you invite people and tell me, hey, can you this and that, it's always gonna be like, oh, it's a Friday, I get out of work, like, oh, I'm in the Bay, that's too far. And in my mind, it's like, far is driving to LA. An hour and a half is not far to me. In my opinion, no disrespect to people that think like that, but I think if we're gonna be closed-minded or blind, like, oh, I feel like that's an excuse. I feel like I'm in a time in my life where I've learned that people make time for the things that they want. And for year 2, for me, I'm 50-50 on that year because I don't think people came. I don't think I got the support I should have got for year 2 because Bliss for me was from the heart, was special. A lot of work, a lot of emotionalness came with Bliss, and I think we had like 45 or 50 people. Like, it was a decrease compared to the first year. And some people were like, oh, we kind of noticed it, but the real ones showed out, and I'm always gonna appreciate the ones that came out, and the Q&A was amazing, phenomenal. But I do wish year 2 could have had more love. I feel like for some reason Bliss deserved more, better, and I get it, and that's why going into year 3, I said, all right, everyone that I can't come in Friday or I'm busy and I understand, you can't make it. I'm gonna make it a Saturday. What you gonna tell me then? What you gonna tell me now?
Right,
so it's
right.
you. So even then, I have people, family, and this and that, and you ain't never gonna win. So it's like,
Yeah, with some people you're never
gonna win. But that Saturday opened the door, and also this year I was like, how can I make this bigger? Because my mind, the Sheldon PAC, I believe, has 700 seats. I always want to pack that place out. My mind is to pack that house out one day. That's the goal. So I was like, how do I achieve that goal? I get other people in this film festival. I get other films. I started networking. I started connecting all the films that I've seen from last year to now. Like, it's kind of like NFL scout. I started like, I like that film. I like that director or the actor's cool. Let me bring them. Hey, do you mind letting me use your film? Hey, can you come to my film festival? And that's how that went about. So I think doing that tremendously benefit and open the door, and everyone involved to having the Loonies. Well, I was trying to have Numbskull from the Loonies from year 1, and we finally worked out schedule wise. He came out, and year 3 was just beautiful, phenomenal. I think we had, I still don't know the numbers, but box office wise, we made a lot of more money this year compared to last year's combined, and we had around roughly 200 to 300 people, and it was just beautiful as heck. And to have all those people there come support me on Saturday, it was to die for. That kind of feeling, I live for days like that. It's the best feeling in the whole wide world.
Absolutely. And how many different directors and films would you say outside of your own would you say were a part of that? If you had a ballpark number even?
Like that day or in general?
No, that day. The third year.
I had 14 directors that day.
With their own films?
With their own films.
And did they have multiple, or was it just one each?
It was all one each.
Okay,
so
I
had there were short documentaries, there were short films under 5 minutes, and then there were longer films to 12 to 15 minutes max.
Okay. And then and if you want to include your own film from that festival, what would you say out of all those different people and different films would you say was your favorite? And I know I'm putting you on the spot, but you can even include your own. You can even say your own movie. But
I gotta shout out my big bro, D-Lo. His film Shoebox. Check it out.
Shoebox, that's the name of the movie?
Shoebox. I don't know. I don't think he's released to the public yet, but when he does, definitely check it out. D-Lo Lewis. Great dude. He's taking the industry by storm, and he's doing big things, and him allowing me, someone who's already in the industry, to allow me to use his film and come to Sacramento to the film festival. I'll tell you, people, when they saw his film, they're like, oh my God, da, da, da. He has this dude. I didn't even know my tia, my aunt. She was like, his actor, that's the actor from Chicago Fire, Chicago PD. And I'm like, what? I didn't even know that. So Shoebox was just beautiful, dope, and it's not that much dialogue. It's all action driven. So to have D-Lo come through, use his film, and he's from the Bay Area, he's from Richmond. So to have that in the house, I think set the tone. And to have D-Lo, because we also included him in the Q&A, to have him talk about him in the industry and his experiences, it's just a full circle moment. And even his story itself, his story is a testimony that anything is possible. There's interviews out there of how he got into this game, and it's just it's super sick, man. So I'm rooting for him. D-Lo got my support. And if you watching this, D-Lo, at any point, I hope, I get to act in your movie one day, and I hope I get to be on your set and in any way just help out, contribute some way, somehow. I'm hungry and I'm ready. And hit me when you're ready, brother. But yeah, I say D-Lo's film with Shoebox was the best film. And I also say Ebazina, my homie Ifani from USC. It's a Nigerian film. And people was crying in there. It was I had seen. I didn't want to ruin the film because I try to watch all the films the day of at the film fest. But as the recruiter, I have to have an idea, and I didn't want to spoil it, so I kind of skimmed through it. When that movie came out, I was over there bawling my eyes out, crying. So I said Ebazina and Shoebox for me took the cake.
Absolutely. Shout out to those men. I mean, who was the director for the second film?
Ifani.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Ifani, man. That's amazing when you can get that kind of emotional reaction
100%.
out of a whole crowd of random people who don't know you.
100%. And real quick, I gotta say my film Misunderstanding. Shout out to Jordan Baker, Julian Prince, Chris Poe or Poje. That's how you say his name. We made something special at USC in the spring, and to have them come two of them were able to come, to have them come on the big screen and watch, and also Rebecca Monroe, who's my AD on set or PA as well, and Jonathan Lopez, who helped me with framing and composition. To have our film Misunderstanding from USC to the Flores Film Festival was just a beautiful feeling. We had the Q&A focus on my film as well.
That's beautiful.
Good shit.
Now, can you kind of like a little bit more detailed describe like loonies, what they mean to you? Because I know, like you said, you kind of talked about how you put them in multiple of your films, and then you were finally able to get them to come out.
For sure.
Can you kind of really describe what their music and what them as artists mean to you? Because it seems like it's very important to have them around your films and in your festival, obviously.
I appreciate that because I've had a lot of people, family, friends, like, oh, again, you're using the loonies in the song, and I got following it. So to have people, like you shout me out or just appreciate what I'm doing, I got following it. I think the song May has ran its course in the sense of me putting it in my films and whatnot, because I always love that song, but I don't want to bore people and overdo it. But I have to give a shout out to the Loonies. I have to give a shout out to Numbskull of the Loonies, who let me use that song, and I think to get credit where credit is due, I would have had no inspiration if it wasn't for us. Because when I saw us, and I was like, they just made I Got 500 into a horror song. And I used that song for the first time at a short film I did it for Sac State called Desperate Times. It's on my YouTube as well. If you ever want to check it out, Desperate Times film. I use it in there. But then when I made my film Petrified, I originally had a scene that involved getting high with the two friends, and they were supposed to smoke weed. And I said, the only way that I can have this scene is if I Got Five playing on in the background. Wrote it, had the script, and I said, well, how am I going to write this song? I'm not trying to get sued. And I said, screw it, let me DM Numbskull. By I think the next day, he messaged me, get at me, here's my number. And shout out to Numbskull from Loonies. Love that guy. He's big bro. He's a mentor. He could have said, yeah, give me $100K, or he could give me this and that. But the fact that he said I could use his song, and he let me use it, and that's love. And I asked him, I said, why'd you let me use the film? He was like, it was your approach. So, that's all love, and that's something I'll never forget. So the fact that we finally had him come to the Flores Film Festival and perform the song, man, it was just a beautiful performance, and people just was over there bobbing their head, and people were like, Josh, how'd you make this happen? So I just think eventually, things takes its course and things come to fruition, and I Got 5 on it. It's been a beautiful process. Now, will I say that song will be the main theme for the next film festival or the main theme for the next film? I don't know, because I want to, I kind of want things to breathe, and I've enjoyed what I've been able to use with that film. But when I make a feature, 100%, I'm gonna use that film, that song, definitely.
Absolutely. So in terms of as an actor, right? What kind of advice would you give to someone who wants to start acting, or even if you knew someone who just wasn't as talented as an actor, how do you kind of like, not tell them they suck per se, but be like, hey, bro, like maybe this, maybe behind the camera is better for you than in front of the camera.
Oh, so you're telling me like someone who wants to be actor but they're not really acting, like how do they come to their own terms, like it's not
right, exactly.
Yeah, like if I approached you and I said, hey, I want to be in a movie, you gave me a shot and then I don't know how to read, how would you have that conversation with me?
It would be more like, okay, like, why do you want to be an actor? And if you really about it, I'm like, all right, well, take these classes. I could try to help you one-on-one, and then if you're struggling, like, hey, man, is this something you want to do? I'm not gonna knock your hustle and your dream. That's something you want to do. But if you feel like there's another passion of camera or something else, let's try to go there too. Mm-hmm. I'm all for trying to make always any kind of revenue or money you can. And if you feel like you do money, I mean, if you could be an actor and you could do camera work or you could do something, let's do it. But if you're struggling, let me try to help you. But if it's not, at one point, I think that's a you thing. I don't think it's ever my place to be like, you suck at acting or you're not good, or hey, I think there's ways to polish up and get better. Like community college now for some good acting classes online. This isn't like me. Like it's just self-taught. Stuff like, okay, I think I can do this. I think you're more than capable an actor. It's just a matter of your patience, your due diligence of, okay, can I do it? I would say get into theater, go do Shakespeare or something. I have a friend Orlando. He does theater shows and he just did the whiz. So I think having something challenge that kind of acting and getting you better and sharpening your craft, I think it's definitely possible. But if you're like, you certainly suck or you're not good, let's find another role for you. But I feel like there's ways to cater, or no, there's ways to get you to another position than to, hey, you suck. I just think that's kind of
without necessarily saying.
Yeah, without just saying. I think there's ways to go about it.
For sure, definitely. I just feel like there's a lot of, and I've mentioned this already throughout this episode, but there's a lot of, in your area, it would be a lot of uncomfortable conversations with people, but necessary conversations, because you have a dream, you have a goal that 100%. You want to reach, and if they're not with it, like, you got to tell them, like, hey, bro, you suck.
And that's funny you bring that up, because for me, two things. I believe I've had good luck with having people who haven't been actors and turning them actors. From my film Scorpio, my girlfriend in that movie, Taja, shout out to Taja, her name was Rosie in that film. She took a theater in high school, and she's a model. And by the time we met, and I said, hey, do you want to be this character? Yeah, why not? I did drama, okay, do it. And she killed it. And I was like, I think you should consider being an actor. Same with my film Bliss. My girlfriend in that movie, she's a rapper, and not an actor whatsoever. But I think workshopping and meeting up and, hey, let's try this out. And she did what she did. She did a great job. So I think having that sense of having someone who can take direction and we can make something happen is amazing. But there was a situation earlier this year. I worked on a film, and that clashing thing you brought up earlier happened in the sense like, this is how I need you to read the script, this is how I want you to be. And person was going a whole nother direction, a whole nother route. And it was like, all right, well, what are you doing? Well, how are we going to get this? And it was like, all right. And sadly, when we were editing the film, we had to edit around that because the acting didn't land how it was supposed to be. So it's stuff like that.
Okay.
So you basically cut them out, basically.
Essentially, but because they were coming at it more from a theater approach, they were being like more theatrical and more comedic or more. It just didn't fit what I originally wanted for the character.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, you already kind of talked about your favorite directors. You kind of went that route already. So, who would you say? And I know you kind of touched on it with 2 actors, but can you give me 3 more? So, like a top 5 actors of all of that's your favorite.
Yeah, it's hard because I don't have. I know Denzel and De Niro are my all-time best actors, but in terms of actors who I grew up just enjoying, I would say Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone. I grew up action. That just my dad. Shout out to my mom and dad, because my dad, I grew up watching '90s action movies, and my mom horror films like slasher, like Scream, Halloween type. Actor wise, that's a great question because I don't know. Like I'm trying to think who's someone that's recently wowed me. Like I say Lupita. She's
Nwanga?
Yeah. Yep, she's a great.
She goes crazy.
Oh,
she goes crazy.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, she's a great actress.
A movie of hers that not really a lot of people talk about that I enjoy is that Hulu zombie movie she did.
I seen that.
It's like an underrated comedy movie.
That's
no one, when it comes to her movies, no one mentions that one. But that's like for her to do comedy while she's known as a serious actress, it's like a good role. You know what I mean?
She's got range.
Exactly. She does. I would think. I'm trying to think who else is another actor who wowed me. There's so many actors out there that I'm just like.
Well, one dude that's blowing up right now is that dude Austin Butler and Timothy Chalamet. Those two are like the main. Like, no, I'm just saying maybe.
Austin Butler's cool. I'm not really a fan of Timothy, to be honest.
I feel it. I just love the Dune movies. I'm not gonna lie.
Dune is great.
Yeah, I love the.
For some reason,
movies.
I don't know. I just.
You're just not feeling it.
I'm not feeling it. No disrespect to Timothy. He's doing it. So.
Right. No, I feel that though. So what would you say? Okay, so this is gonna kind of be split into 2, right? So Can you give me your top 5 films? Like, if movies, if you had to go on an island and you only were able to take 5 films with you.
Okay, I got it.
What films are you taking with you?
I'm going Training Day, A Bronx Tale,
That's
Do
a
the
good
Right
movie.
Thing, Interstellar, Back to the Future.
There you go. I like
Marty
that list.
McFly.
Yeah.
That's crazy work.
And then okay, in this movie that you've watched in 2024, here's the kind of the separate part of that. So, what has been your favorite movie this year?
Oh, this year, because I've watched so many movies. That's a great question. Damn, let me think, because I've seen.
Because there's been a lot of good movies this year. There's also been the Interstellar re-release on
I
IMAX.
saw that. That was
the first time I ever watched Interstellar, and I fucking was like a 10-year-old baby just crying watching that movie.
You know what? I think I'm gonna say that because you're saying what have I enjoyed this year watching?
Yeah, like your favorite film this year.
I have
Just
to
of
say,
this year.
you know, that's funny you bring up Interstellar because I just saw that movie in San Francisco at the Metreon Theater. We saw it on the 70 millimeter.
70 millimeter. Yeah.
Yep. And the whole time it was making that sound. And I had seen that movie in 2014 with my mom. We saw it on the bootleg. Like we had a hard drive and it was HD. My dad hooked it up with all these films. And I remember seeing it twice at that time. And I've seen clips of it on YouTube since then. But seeing it this year with some friends and watching it on the big screen was like, oh my God. Just made me appreciate Christopher Nolan. Made me appreciate Hans Zimmer, cinematography. That I was balling. I was crying. I was like that whole Interstellar was hands down top 5 cinematic experience that I've had in the theaters.
I would say the same thing because I watched it. Like I said, I watched it for the first time at IMAX. I didn't do the 70 millimeter one. I went to just the Delta Shores
sure.
IMAX, which I do want to watch the 70 millimeter one because you get the more of the authentic grainy feel to the film.
Yes.
So the way it was intended, naturally, especially the way Christopher Nolan shoots his movies, but. When I was watching it was my first time experiencing the whole film. So, but getting that IMAX experience, especially, and like, even though it was my first time watching, like, you know the notes that the movie's hitting, and you're kind of expecting what's going to happen. But then to really get, and I mean, it's a 10-year-old film, so this ain't really spoilers,
I guess. Feel like it.
But when you get to that point where you finally realize that when he entered that black hole and then the dimension where it's all of his daughter.
And it was him doing it the whole time.
And it was him doing it the whole time, doing the what is that, Morse code?
Yep, Morse code.
On the bookshelf, and then when that last book fell, it was like his last-ditch effort to make him stay. And then he looked, but then when you revert to that scene earlier in the film, when he looked at that random book, the one that fell by itself, he kind of was like, no, this is weird. You know what I mean? But to know that it was him the whole time really blew my mind. But then the part that really fucked me up and had me like just like not like full on crying, but just tears were just coming down my face was just like knowing that scene was coming when they announced that the daughter was going to come to his station. And then you know that emotional scene's coming. You know it's coming.
In the hospital?
Yeah, at the end. And so, like, when you know that scene's coming, but, like, to feel the build-up and then to see him walk in there and see all of his, like, grandkids and great-grandkids. Yeah. And then he goes to her and he's like, what was the word he said? He said, what was the damn words he said? He said something along the lines of, you told them I like farming. And then they laughed about it. And then immediately I'm just like fucking just, you know what I mean, just shooting out. And then they were like, she was like, no one believed me, that I knew it was you the whole time, blah, blah, blah. But like that emotional, like that impact of that scene emotionally just like fucked me up. And I'm like, bro, like knowing that you were on these different planets and you aged at all, didn't age at all, but your daughter's like 90 years old. You know what I mean? Like that fucks you up type shit. So for me, I would say the same thing.
Her life, like he just came back and gone.
And she's been growing up without him, you know. And then there was obviously like the certain other character development, like how the son resented him and was hard headed. You know what I mean? So like but that scene specifically, I think like really fucked me up. But especially to experience it on IMAX, and that's a movie like watching on IMAX. I think really made me like fall in love with like movies again to a degree because to shoot the space scenes that he shot, it really makes you curious about how the fuck he did that.
All practical.
All practical, exactly.
Shout out Nolan.
Shout out Nolan, man. He's one of the best working out there for sure.
100%.
Now we're at the time, brother, where we're at the point of the show where if you have anything you want to promote for the final 2 weeks of this year or going forward in 2025 or in 2026, you take all the time you need. If there's anything you want to promote, whether it's something you're working on or going to work on or someone else's stuff you're going to work with, or maybe your film festival next year, just anything you want to promote, take all the time you need.
Oh, thank you. I believe in January I'll be making the announcement that submissions for my film will open up.
Your film festival?
Film Festival, Flores, year 4. I haven't officially announced it yet, but I think this is the first place we'll do that. People have been asking me, "Oh, what's up with year 4? How can we do it?" And I think, yeah, if you want to submit, you want to give it a try. You know, I'm thinking ahead. I think next year, I think maybe the last time we do that shutting. My goal is to pack that place, and then from there try to find a bigger format. Venue. So yeah, if you're more than interested, hit me up, DM me. But I think more all that information be more put up out there for you to see how to more exact details. As far if you want to check my films out, you can go to my Instagram at JoshyDog, JOSHYDOGG. I have all the trailers and stuff like that on my page if you're curious to see what I do. If you want to watch my YouTube films, my YouTube handle is Joshua Flores 372, and 3 films are on there as of right now. All the trailers are on there as well. I'm just waiting on Bliss to go through this last circuit of festivals. There's this film festival next year in San Francisco at the Roxy Theater. I hope I get in. Hopefully put it in existence, you know. If I get in, if not, I'm gonna release it to the world. I might do a private link in December, maybe on Christmas, or we're already in December on Christmas, maybe for people to watch, because I feel like Bliss deserves that energy and love that we put in that film. And I just want to take the time to give the honor and praise to glory to God. You know, shout out to the Lord for, you know, blessing me with great people, family, and had me a vision and let me capture my goals and my dreams. And shout out to my mom and dad, my family. Shout out to everyone on my team, friend-wise, support-wise. Without any of you guys, I wouldn't have a film or films and any of that. And I think I'm excited and I'm itching, and I just hope that we can make more beautiful things. And my goal is when I make it, I'm bringing them all with me. That's my goal. And I'm not done here yet. I hope that I get to make a feature, and that's my goal. And I just, you know, thank you for having me on here. It's been an honor.
Yeah,
absolutely. Love to have you on here, brother. It's good to see you again, man. It's been a long time.
Hey, thank you,
I
man.
want to thank everybody who's watching this, tuning into the Kuya Cam podcast. This is Jose Ledesma, a.k.a. Puerto Rican Papi. This is Kuya Flip. This is Joshy Dog, a.k.a. Joshua Flores, baby. Today is December 14th. Our next episode is going to be December 28th with Thomas Downs. That's going to be a very football-orientated episode. We're going to talk about youth football. We're going to talk about high school and college and the pros, because he works with pro athletes, namely guys that are from the Sacramento Elk Grove area, like Eric Armstead and Taron Johnson, you know, all those guys that have come through the Elk Grove, Sacramento area. So that's going to be a fun episode. December 28th, live at noon. Thank you again for Josh for coming on. Thank you everyone who's watching. This is the Kuya Camp episode, and I hope you have a great Saturday. And shout out to my sister, Rosanna, doing the camera work in the back. Shout out to my sister. Love you, sis. But thank you guys again for tuning in. Hope you have a great Saturday. Peace.
Hey, man, that was fun. I appreciate it, bro.
No, yeah, it's all good. Okay, so I seen that there's that issue.